Lord Sticky.
Sire.
Any lucky lady gonna get the midnight kiss?
Just talk to her, dude.
What's up, Laura?
We're actually going to this New Year's thing. It's going to be a total shit show.
Oh.
See ya.
It's 1999, and we getting drunk.
In a few hours, you have an excuse to kiss the girl of your dreams.
Open up. Take us away.
It's so smooth.
Y2K is real.
Someone's on the net.
Dumbass. I use gel.
You've got mail.
Oh my!
Oh, shit. A Tamagotchi just drilled through a chick's head. Come on, we gotta go.
We are experiencing major problems as a result of the Y2K breakdown.
Bye-bye, human race.
We're talking global computer apocalypse.
Sorry, guys. I guess you're fucked.
They made a video and everything. That's crazy. You don't know how this shit works.
Grab a bike, grab a board, grab whatever you can.
This has been the shittiest night of my life. Fuck this! But it's cool that we got to hang out for once.
Oh my god!
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Y2K from A24, arriving on Friday, December 6th. I'm Kuya, this Nerds Rule the World. Joining me, as you hear on the screen, or you'll see you'll see a still picture of them. I have the amazing Kyle Mooney and Evan Winter, writers and producer directors for this project. How are you, gentlemen?
We're well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Definitely. Y2K. If we could start us off, where were you all? What were you doing when it originally occurred back in 1999, and as we were heading into Y2K? If we could start there.
Yeah,
dog. I was in a bunker, ready for everything. No, it sounds like Kyle and I had very similar experiences. We were both at home at our respective houses, watching MTV New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
that was a thing back then.
And it should be a thing again. I mean, I'd love to see
right?
Daily kind of up there with some music acts.
You gotta have some good New Year's Eve content, because like for those of us who can't go out anymore, like it felt really strong in the Y2K era.
Yes. So inspiration from that moving forward, you guys become rock stars. Obviously, Kyle, we know you from SNL. Taking notes from that and taking that all into creating this great little film with A24, this horror take on what could have possibly been if we were in an alternate universe. What was that like? And how did y'all come together in putting this together?
Speaking for myself, I've always been sort of a little obsessed with Y2K, and because it was such a massive letdown, so on New Year's Day 2019, I think the small seed of the idea just sort of hit me. What if there was a movie about some teenagers who go to a high school party and Y2K actually happens? And I texted Evan, who's an incredibly talented writer and filmmaker, and he was into the idea. We went to college together, and we both lived through this era. So it was rad to just start riffing on it. And like, we were so excited, one, that nobody had done this idea because it sort of feels like it's hiding there in plain sight. But, two, just in that, like, what a cool thing to be spending your time doing, just like pulling references and remembering like that universe and that time period.
So you wanted the fire and brimstone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We very, very quickly landed on the idea that, this is not the realistic Y2K. This is the machines come alive and start forming, themselves into killing creatures. And, Kyle and I think we have a lot of overlap in the kind of stuff that we loved growing up, the kind of movies and practical effects and animatronics. So it was something that excited both of us a lot.
Oh, I love that. So I see that T2 is, post-apocalypse, and I love that you said practical effects, because that's what I really enjoyed about seeing your film recently, is some of that practical effects, you kind of creating these creatures out of technology, if you will. That was a lot of fun. So I guess that leads me to one of my main questions, bullet points for creating a Y2K film, incorporating certain things. I was really hoping that the film would start with a dial-up, especially the AOL dial-up, and it did, so thank you. Can you tell me, like, okay, we're going to do this. We've got this idea. What were some like bullet points to really make it that time period, especially in 2024, now that it's released? I think this is probably, you put this together in 2023, but to get this new generation to understand what Y2K was.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was just, again, pulling those references that are like, so some of them are incredibly broad and like maybe there's some general awareness, but then also sneaking in those ones that you wouldn't have been aware of if you weren't alive then. And I think we're fortunate in that, like, Y2K as an aesthetic has sort of made a little bit of a comeback. So I think younger folks have an idea of the phrase or the looks associated with it, but we were psyched to sort of bring it back fully and to expose like the universe and that we grew up in.
Yeah, things that maybe didn't quite, make the now that it's like retro and it's something that people who didn't live through it are kind of looking back on and drawing inspiration from today. It's fun to kind of see what those things were that made it, these like 24, 25 years, and what are the things that we remembered and were really important to us that have kind of slip through the cracks. And so you want that balance of the stuff that's kind of era defining, but then also like maybe in the moment was era defining, but kind of has slipped away. It's fun to bring that stuff back.
Yeah. And I'm glad you called out the AOL opening, because that's where we spent all of our time. You know what I mean?
So true. So nostalgic. I love those references. I think a lot of, especially fans my age, are going to be like, oh, that. I know my theater of fellow press guys were like, wow, yes. Also, best death of the year. I'm giving it to you. If I could give the MTV award for best death, there's a particular sequence on a basketball goal that I don't want to spoil for the people, but that had me dying, losing my breath. That was hilarious.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a fun one. I feel like that's gotten a good response. We're happy with that one.
Yeah. Fun to think of all the fun, interesting, unique ways to kill.
And I feel like that came late in the game. It was sort of a rewrite.
Well done. And best area to fall in love. That also, like, all of us, we were like, oh my gosh. And that just had us dying. Hip hop. I'm a music guy as well, and I notice a lot of hip hop in this. Can I talk to you guys about just where some of these musical references, and obviously Fred Durst, where did that come from in inspiration and getting Fred to come on board the project as Fred Durst?
Yeah, I mean, Evan and I were both sort of underground hip hop heads when we were teenagers, so like we wanted to represent that. Like, it's not something that gets that. It's a pretty niche moment in time when people like our character CJ were around and like obsessed with
socially conscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Hip hop. Yeah.
So that was a cool thing to be able to like, and reinvest ourselves in that culture and that type of person, but with Fred Durst, he was there, and we I think within the first week of talking about the movie, we mentioned him, and we're like, oh, that would be cool if Fred Durst showed up, and it just stuck, and there was never anyone else that we felt like we could replace him with, and he was the first person we reached out to when we started trying to get the movie made, and fortunately he was down, and I really think he's so great in the movie.
His performance is so good, and yeah, there's a couple layers that he has to play, and he gets all of them, and it really shines through.
Awesome job. And just the cast, great bunch of young actors. You got Snow White, man. You got Rachel Zegler. What was it like to close out with just this great cast? And what do you hope, this new generation that maybe know these young stars, but will now know about Y2K and why they should check out Y2K?
Yeah, I mean, the casting process is really interesting. How everything is dependent on schedule and how it all comes together, and you're just looking for people that embody the characters. And we had a lot of we were really lucky to work with our casting director, Jess Kelly, who did an incredible job kind of finding some of these kids and younger people. And then even like Julian, who, the character was originally written just a high school kid, and we saw Julian, and obviously we like his prior work, and his performance in Wilder People especially was beautiful. And we saw him and we're like, he's just perfect. So we got to the point where we need to rewrite this role to be like an exchange student, a kid from New Zealand who lived there, because he was just so amazing. So yeah, you find these moments where you kind of have to write towards the characters or the actor because they just feel like they embody the role, and it wasn't who you originally envisioned, but they just took it over and made it so perfect.
Yeah, we were so lucky. Everyone that came on board played it pitch perfectly, and were more than we imagined. So it was awesome. And
since you mentioned Rachel, she was also just a total dream, and was so much fun to do this with.
I love it. I cannot wait for people to start mimicking the film and like, hey, we're gonna go over to that porta potty, but let's not push it down the way, just to fall in love. Gentlemen, it is a pleasure and an honor to chat with you. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on your directorial debut, Kyle. You and Evan just wrote a fun, nostalgic project that I can't wait for the rest of the people to see when it drops on December 6th. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Everybody, Kyle Mooney, Evan Winter, writer, directors, Y2K. Check it out, December 6th. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World.
Thanks, so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.